Hi, welcome back to Anime Chaos. I'm Kyle.
I'm Chai.
And today we're going to be talking about Batman Caped Crusaders, which is the newest animated series in the Batman franchise. Now, I've just recently watched this and it only just came out at the beginning of August. Chai here has not yet seen it, and she also doesn't know a great deal about Batman. And while I'm far from being a know-it-all when it comes to the Batman franchise, I know enough to say that this particular series is pretty solid. If it would be your very first introduction to the Batman franchise, it'd be a fine choice. It takes a bit more of a mature version route of the stories being told than what we've seen in some previous Batman series, but also doesn't really stray too far from what was there in the source material to begin with. It threw in a few more cuss words here and there. That's about it. It did alter a few details here and there about some of the villains' origin stories, but for the most part stays relatively the same. I know that the Penguin was particularly controversial to some degree for this particular series because typically the Penguin is depicted as being short to medium height man.
And not good looking.
And they went for tall woman with a domineering, deep womanly voice, and she is like a very effective mob boss leader, and that was literally episode 1, so it made for a very interesting opening point, and I think it worked. It was very much a case where they got the right voice actor for the character who knew how to provide a voice for this particular version of the Penguin, and it works. And the thing of it is that pretty much in every superhero series out there, it is almost like an alternate universe. So this is basically just another alternate universe version. It was a really strong opening start, especially considering that the Penguin is in himself a character that, to my knowledge, never got like a significant origin story.
Wasn't he abandoned and then they took... I watched the Penguin, like the movie, like the old Batman movie. So it was a long time ago when I saw it, but wasn't he like abandoned, or I don't want to say he was flushed down the drain, but I feel like he was like abandoned or something, and then someone took him in, and then he was raised in the sewage system.
I didn't know that. So I don't recognize.
That's the one that I vaguely remember. Like I said, it's been a long time since I watched anything Batman related, and any Batman stuff I watched was the movie. So like with Catwoman, Dr. Freeze, Penguin, I've seen the old movies, like the older ones. Mm-hmm. And so I think he was abandoned.
I couldn't prove by me.
I know he grew up in the sewage. In the sewer system. I knew that much.
That's more,
and that's why the character was very like stout and like ugly looking. Mm-hmm. See, and he was surrounded by penguins.
So I never cared.
Like it was penguins down there for some reason in the sewage system, and so like he ate the fish like that with them. So, and he had like an umbrella that he kind of like Mary Poppins around, and he also
a machine gun.
Yeah, it was also a gun. So that's my only knowledge really for the Penguin. Mm-hmm. Is from that, and again, it's loosely based, and I watched it as a kid, so I don't really remember much on it.
Well, I liked the choice they went for with the character. I thought it was an interesting decision that they made, and I thought it worked, and it made for a great opening thing. With some of the other characters, really, not much was changed, like Two-Face. The most drastic change they made to his story was simply that the side of the face that got splashed with acid was opposite what they usually go with. Usually it was his left side of his face. For this series, they went with the right side of his face. That's something that a really just in-deep fan of Batman will notice, but does it really change the character? No, because the origin story was roughly the same. With Harley Quinn, though, they changed her origin story, at least by comparison to the way it was in Batman the Animated Series from 1982, which that's the most interesting thing, by the way, is that Harley Quinn was probably one of the first, if not the first, non-comic original character be introduced. It was created by the showrunners of Batman the Animated Series from 1982, and Harley Quinn wound up being so popular and so beloved that they actually worked her
into the story,
into the comic series. And her first original initial introduction to the comic series was the accompanying comic series that went to the 1992 animated series, and that was considered non-canon, but her first canon introduction into the Batman universe was in 1997, 5 years later. They hit the nail on the head with Harley Quinn when they introduced her. And so that is her origin story in 1992. So changing her origin story in this series was an interesting choice, but it wasn't a bad choice. It worked. The episode worked. and it kept with the original.
So what, is she not a doctor anymore?
No. She was still a psychiatrist. She was a psychiatrist that kind of went off the deep end because the people she was counseling weren't actually getting better. They were just voicing their complaints about their family and whatnot, and how their family somehow the problem, when she's like, no, you're the problem.
You're the problem, not your family.
These sessions are not getting any better. You're just sitting here telling me everything you've done illegal and wrong. And so the origin story for Harley Quinn, it was changed ever so slightly, but it wasn't significant because the main themes are still there. She's still a psychiatrist. She's still dealing with patients, although in her office as opposed to in Arkham Asylum. But the difference is that she was driven to her anger and her decision to become Harley Quinn from dealing with these rich people that just had no concept of morals, versus in the original animated series where she was
manipulated by the Joker.
Yes, she was manipulated by the Joker, almost, I don't want to say conditioned, but I guess that's kind of the word. She was more or less conditioned by the Joker the entire time into being convinced of, oh yeah, I'm definitely changing. I'm getting better. I'm not the person I was when I first entered here, only for her to be twisted into becoming the person she became in the original series. That was her original origin story. With this, it maintains the elements, but changes it just enough.
It changes the prompt of what led her to be the person that she is, as opposed to saying, because here's my thing about Harley and the Joker. I don't see why people romanticize them. I don't. There's nothing to romanticize. Oh, you're my Harley to my Joker. You're my Joker to my Harley. You're psychotic. That's toxic.
Now,
cosplaying as I love seeing people's different cosplays.
Cosplays are phenomenal.
But if you're saying, oh, I want to find my Harley or I want to find my Joker, no. Because I'm pretty sure there was a couple episodes when they used to show it on TV. He killed her at one point.
He did shove her out a window.
Because she
landed into a giant dumpster, so she didn't die, but she was definitely
should have killed her.
It should have killed her. It was a fall from like 3 stories up. She should have died
because she did the thing that he was refusing to do, which was capture Batman. Like she actually got him, and he wasn't.
She succeeded.
She succeeded in actually capturing Batman, and because again, you've been trying to do this for the longest time, so let me do this for you, or let me surprise you, whatever. And he got pissed. Like so mad because she did it. Mm-hmm. Oh, why did you? Oh, because you didn't do it. So therefore she did it because one, she's smarter than you.
She wanted to make him happy. She thought this would make him happy. But for him, it
showed how inferior he was, because that's what it really was.
It's more of he loves the chase.
Yeah, and then she took that away.
She did take that away
because she captured Batman. Because I'm pretty sure at one point in the animation he found out who he is, and he still doesn't do anything with it.
I think so. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think
probably at least in one of many series.
Yeah, like I said, I don't really watch it. It's usually just clippets of stuff that I've seen here and there. Mm-hmm. But I'm pretty sure he finds out who Batman is and then doesn't do anything with it. He's just like, oh, okay, cool. Oh, not cool, but just like, oh, I know your secret, but he's not telling anybody.
Yeah.
Because then
that ruins the fun for him.
Yeah, it will ruin everything for him. Mm-hmm. And
really, the Joker's existing is the Batman's fault, because there is an origin story that was
killed him.
No, well, what happened is that he was a petty thief, and he was running away from the Batman, ran into a chemical factory, leaned up against some railing up on a second-story walkway pathway, and the railing broke, and he fell in, and the Batman presumed him dead, because it was like a toxic acid boiling waste dump situation thing. And he survived, but he came out severely broken to the point where he became the Joker. So Batman created the Joker.
Yeah, in a sense. But my thing is, I'm very much on, why do we constantly keep having to have it's the whole cat and mouse. You really wouldn't have much of a story, because yes, we have other villains that pop up in the Batman universe, but the main one is going to be always Batman and Joker. Mm-hmm. That's the main nuance.
And it was the 1992 series that actually really instigated that, because prior to that, Joker was he was much more of a clown thief.
Yeah, like he was one of among the other thieves.
Yep.
Villains, but now he's way more than that. And so for me, out of all villains, yes, we know about Penguin, Freeze, Catwoman, and I'm sure there's other little petty ones in there. But the Joker
Dr. Freeze has not made his appearance yet in this season.
Yeah, and so
in fact, the Joker hasn't even made his first truly official appearance yet. He was silhouetted at the very end of the 10th episode, which was the last episode of the season, where you only saw his eyes and you heard his voice, and all he said was perfect after he had tested out his chemicals to cause people to laugh maniacally until they got
the Joker gas.
Yes, the Joker gas. Although it was a syringe for this one, because depending on the series, he's got variations. It can be a gas, it can be an injectable serum, it could be in the makeup. There was an episode, I think, in the original series where he worked it into cosmetics so that it would poison people and cause them to just go into maniacal laughter on camera, because these were like news anchors. And then they found themselves in that position. And depending on the series, the Batman is able to create an antidote serum, and in others, not so much. And also, sometimes the characters wind up in the hospital, either paralyzed or like in a coma of some kind. In other series, they die completely. Like there is no saving them. So it really depends on the series. This one's a little bit darker, so I wouldn't be surprised if these characters wind up dead versus in a coma. But
yeah, because you always get the one like they should have died, and all of a sudden at the last second, you find something, and then they wake up, and it's like, oh, what happened? You don't remember nothing, not even a little bit.
That's probably.
But here's my thing is, well, yeah, that's probably. But my whole thing is like when you have, like I said, I don't really watch Batman, Superman, any of them.
Mm-hmm.
But my whole thought process was, why are we just letting them go? Because with Batman in general, you're the problem as well. You're a problem as well. Like is he a billionaire or something like that?
He's a vigilante.
Yeah. So
Batman is a vigilante.
He's a vigilante, but you are a billionaire. You have the money to possibly help your city.
And he does.
You do.
He donates a lot of money.
Yeah, but I'm talking about more on the villain side. You want to be a vigilante, you're hunting the bad guys, but you're just letting them go. Joker, petty thieves is whatever. Police can help. You can help the police with that, like the little petty thefts and bank robs, whatever. But when you have a person on the Joker's level of villainy, they need to be annihilated. There's no, because we've locked him up before. He's escaped. We put him in insane asylums before. He's escaped. Okay, he's always going to escape. So you clearly like this little cat and mouse thing y'all got going on too. Because why haven't you just him already? Like just. You don't got to do, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can set up something and do it. How many Robins do you got to go through before you get the hint? Like, why are we constantly doing this? Why half your dysfunctional family can't stand you? Because of that. Like, they were already traumatized. That's how you got them in the first place. And then the ones that survive, some of them can't stand you because of that. There's like, you could have solved this problem. I'm pretty sure at one point in canon, he killed the Joker, or was about to kill the Joker or something like that, because the Joker killed one of the Robins or something. So how many Robins does it take for you to get the hint to kill the Joker? I'm very much Wonder Woman in the sense of I don't got enemies because I handle business. All you other ones, you put them in jail, but they breaking out. You put, like, again, sane asylums or put them on islands. First of all, why would you put a whole bunch of group of highly intelligent villains all together in one location? So it's like a lot of the problems could be solved, like the major ones. I get it, petty crime, whatever. And he doesn't want people to know who he is. I get that. And he's helping the city as best as he can with the money that he has. So he's giving back. Yes, but on the superhero side of it, it would save yourself and the city a lot of time and money if you just got rid of the bigger problems. Like the little petty thefts, whatever. A lot of them are just henchmen to these bigger people. Okay? And you're not doing anything about it. Same thing with, like I said, Superman, all them. You're basically an alien, dude. You're an alien on Earth, and you can solve these problems because apparently all it takes is taking your glasses on and off to change who you are. You can solve these problems really quickly, and no one will know it was you.
Yeah. See, I'm not a big Superman fan because I just can't connect with the character because he's too. I don't want to say perfect because that's not correct.
No, he's flawed.
They're
all flawed, really.
He's just not someone I've ever been able to connect with. Whereas with the Batman, I feel like I can connect with that character a bit more, which is weird to say, I guess, but the vibe is just right with that.
Well, Batman is not a bad character per se. None of them are really bad characters. It's just a lot of it was you did it for the plot. You did it for the plot because it just made sense to do that. And if you did it a certain way, it would probably end a lot sooner. and then you'd probably have to think of another villain or something like that. And people love the Joker. They do.
Yeah,
He's a good villain. I'm not saying he's not.
You can thank Mark Hamill for that, because Mark Hamill, he came in the 1992 animated series to voice the Joker, and he's the one who invented the iconic laugh that is known.
Yeah, so like the Joker, he's a great character.
Phenomenal character.
Yeah, like
terrifying as all hell, depending on the series.
But it's like, it's one of those, it's like, you would solve a lot of problems if you just killed him.
Yeah, but the Batman will never shoot a gun.
Yeah, but
although I will say this, in this series, the Batman does shoot a gun to get rid of all the bullets, but he shoots it into a crate that he has backed a henchman up against and does not shoot the henchman. That was a choice that I'm not sure a lot of Batman fans are going to agree with, because the Batman is shown to have such an aversion to guns that even to hold a gun at times terrifies him, and he just
Didn't his parents die from a gun?
Yes. Okay. His parents were shot and killed in that alleyway. That's why he became the way he did.
And he doesn't like guns. So, but again, it goes back to, first of all, you're billionaires. Why are you walking in an alley? And I know earlier you said they were taking a shortcut home. First of all, if you live in this mansion that now has a bat cave literally underneath it, you didn't live in town. They lived on the outskirts of town. What shortcut was you taking? You weren't taking a shortcut. You were taking a stroll. And again,
maybe it was a stroll. I don't remember. If they had just finished with the movie, they were enjoying themselves. They probably weren't paying enough attention to realize they were going down Criminal Alley. But
my thing is, was Gotham ever a safe place to be? Because again, why am I just at night?
For sure.
At night, was Gotham ever a safe place to be? Because it's not even broad daylight. It was at nighttime.
It was middle of the night. It was probably almost midnight.
And you decided to take a turn. You're billionaires. It's not like you're not known. You're well known.
Right.
In an alley. And for some reason, he didn't kill the kid. Because again, plot. But he didn't kill the kid. He just killed the parents.
And what did he gain out of that? I think maybe because he didn't even gain...
I feel like it was a setup. I think the person who killed him wasn't even there to really rob them. That was a stage.
Probably not.
I feel like it was a hit. Well, because did he even take anything from him?
No, because actually it's shown in this series that Bruce managed to get all of his parents' jewelry and all his fineries and all of that stuff.
Yeah, so it was a hit.
So nothing was stolen. So this wasn't about a theft.
Yeah, no, it was a hit. So someone plotted. That makes more sense because now the walking in the alley doesn't make sense to me.
No.
Because as soon as I leave the theater, my car better be right there.
Yeah. Especially in a
high profile
city like that.
Yeah, and I'm a high profile person. No, where's my car? What's the butler's name? Alfred.
Alfred,
where's the vehicle? Like, as soon as the movie's over, you should already know right there. Open the door, let's get in. There is no walking, especially again in Gotham. So no, that was a hit. That was a hit. If nothing was taken, that was a hit.
Of course, one thing about this series is that it is definitively able to be determined that this series is set in around 1950. They had payphones. They had televisions with small screens and black and white screens. They had traditional landline phones. And the cars were noticeably of that era. So this was not a modern day interpretation. We're setting this right around between the 1940s and 1960s. I'm going to say right in the middle of the 1950s. And so immediate access to things like cell phones was not an option, obviously. That didn't exist until the 80s.
Yeah. But
it still wasn't the right choice for them to go down an alleyway ever.
Like, if you know what time, and Alfred is a smart butler, okay? He's been in the family. You know what time that movie ended. If it's a 2-hour movie, okay, I'll be there at this time.
Yep.
Even if I'm just if I don't even go all the way back to the mansion, I'm just around. It was a hit. It was planned. It was plotted, and it was for the plot. Because who just? Well, maybe the crime wasn't as bad, but still, you're high-profile billionaires who clearly are not crooks. You're gonna have people that are crooks that want you gone, and they didn't kill your kid because one, he's too young, and then someone else can take over, and he's not gonna do anything about it, right? Which I think they did a lot with a whole bunch of Batman movies where, like, when after the parents die, like, he gets sent off somewhere for schooling or something,
and so he did go to boarding school.
And then he comes back and he's like, well, since you've been away, how about you give me my parents' company? And so you're dealing with that type of situation, which again, that's all plot and planned from it. But I mean, it sounds interesting. It seemed like they did a take on different things. I didn't feel like it was rushed.
Well, no. One of the things they did do, which is interesting considering the time frame that this is set in, Harley Quinn is confirmed to be gay in this series. Like, it's already been established.
Didn't they already do that with other stuff with her?
Yes, they did. But considering that this is the 1950s and being gay in the 1950s so openly, mind you, because she went on a date with one of the police detectives, which I don't remember which one, what her name was off the top of my head. Cortez, I think, maybe. She went on an actual date and kissed her in the restaurant. And considering that this is set in the 1950s, this is clearly a universe where anti-gay is not an issue, which is good. There you go.
Because I'm pretty sure they did that with Harley and Poison Ivy.
They did that with the Harley Quinn animated series, where Harley and Poison Ivy are a confirmed couple.
Yeah, because like she breaks up with Joker, which I feel like they were kind of trying to do that with not Birds of Prey, but the Harley movies. Was it called Harley Quinn? I don't know, but you know, the live action with Harley was played by that one lady that played Barbie. But she did a great job with that. But it's kind of hinted that that's where it was going, because, you know, they broke up in the second one. You know, we broke up, we're no longer together. And then in Birds of Prey, she's mentioning that. So it kind of started hinting that that's where they were leading the character for. And that was like she was no longer going to be with the Joker, and that she was probably going to do it, which I think is what they did with the animated thing with Harley. Was, you know, she broke up with the Joker and then she got with,
and the Joker somehow became kind of a better person, because I think he wound up finding, in that Harley Quinn series, he fell in love with his nurse. They got at least in a relationship. I don't know if they fully got married. I think they might have gotten married, and he just kind of.
So again, it goes
reverted to a normal person, aside from having this pale white face and stuff like that. And I think he had to put makeup on in order to cover all of that.
Well, it's one of those, they are toxic for each other. Because the fact is, when he left, she left, whichever one they left, they were no longer together. If the series showed him being better with someone else and her being better, quote unquote, with someone else, then they're not. So people was like, oh.
And I'm sure that's probably why they did this the way they did for this series, was because it's likely in response to that, well, they're really not a good couple. This is a toxic relationship. It is not good. And continuing to portray it is probably not a good choice.
Yeah, it's very... Now, if they happen to cross paths and, like, worked with each other, quote-unquote, worked with each other for something, for a common goal, that's different.
We'll see what will happen.
But, like, being together, I never saw that as a good thing. I've always saw it as toxic. Like, yeah, we say, oh yeah, Harley and Joker together, but that's because it's like, I never really liked it. And couples that dress up like Harley and Joker, okay, whatever. But it's like, don't make that, some people are like, well, that's goals. That's not goals. That is not a goal to have. Why would you want to have this psychotic person who is obsessed with you to the point of non-healthy? Like, you want a partner, I guess, that wants to just love you, but obsession to the point of I'll kill you if you do something I don't like, it's not it. Okay? It's not it.
Yeah.
So I was never that person. Now, I do appreciate the traditional Harley, which is the black and red. I don't really care for this pink and blue situation.
In this particular series, she wears yellow and polka dots, which is really out of nowhere. I'm not entirely sure what was going on with that design choice. It was a choice.
No. Yeah, that is definitely a choice. Was trying to be a cheetah or something? We already have a cheetah, okay? She was in Wonder Woman.
I don't know. But it was definitely much more of a traditional Harley Quinn type of outfit for this particular design. And I would say for this series, the designs are hit and miss. Some are better than others. Some of them you really can't change too much without it just going way out there. Ironically, they were a bit more reserved with Two-Face's design. Usually, half his face is like blue with white hair, depending on the depiction. In this one, his face has just been kind of melted a little bit with holes.
It was more realistic?
More realistic approach to being splashed in the face with acid. So
did they change the voice? Because the point of Two-Face is he has a split personality. So.
He does do that. Right now, as of this current moment in time with season 1, he's still kind of in that back and forth point where the second personality hasn't fully taken over yet.
Okay.
So he still is between the point of having that evil side that's out to kill everyone and everything at the flip of a coin, sometimes quite literally, and being that guilty person
or that guilty feeling person who was just trying to become like a mayor or something. I think he was going for mayor of Gotham when he was just Harvey Dent.
Was he a lawyer?
He might have been a lawyer too. I don't remember.
Okay.
He might have been. He had some sort of legal knowledge and
if someone didn't like him, they splashed him in the face. I thought he was a lawyer, but again, like I said,
he was working with a mob to some degree, and he decided he wasn't going to follow through with what they wanted, and that's when one of the henchmen said, "You don't get to say no," and that's when the henchman splashed him in the face with the acid.
And then all you did was create a bigger problem because he probably came back and got you after that.
I do believe, actually, in that very same episode, he did go and burn the henchman.
Yeah. So
he like tied the henchman to a chair
granted,
and set the whole place on fire.
It's the henchman. You need to go for the head.
Oh, he turned around and went. He continued to go further up, but it was the henchman first.
Okay. I'm not condoning violence. I'm just saying that's the route I would take. That's all.
As far as some of these other characters go, we haven't seen them all yet. I would say, for the most part, it is solid. I do enjoy it. I'm intrigued to see what Season 2 will bring, assuming Season 2 will come. If it doesn't get a Season 2, it will be the first Batman series probably ever that does not fully have the Joker in it, because of how he was only hinted at the very end of the last episode, and with one word and no visual representation, we don't yet know what he looks like. I'm hopeful they don't change the character design too much, but we'll see.
The character's gone through a lot of different changes. Like, I've seen, like, throughout the history of, like, Jokers and different characters, the character design has changed a lot. Same thing with the voices, but the character design has changed. The plot points of what he does and why he does it has changed a lot. But I'm hoping that they do, because I can't stand shows that you get a first season and it does really well, and you leave it on a cliffy. You leave a cliffhanger saying, like, once we pick it up, this, leads from there. And then they never do. And then they never do. And you're stuck there going, okay, well.
And since it's over on Amazon Prime Video, will it get Season 2? We don't know. The thing about Amazon Prime Video is that they're willing to take a bit more of a chance when it comes to the violent side of things. That's why Has Been Hotel is successful, because they were like, yeah, okay, we'll host it. And other areas weren't willing to host it because of how violent it was. Same thing with this particular version. Same with this particular version of this Batman series. It's a bit more realistically violent. Although Batman the Animated Series, 1992 series, very realistically violent in many ways.
Yeah, but the 80s and 90s,
they weren't as afraid of it.
Yeah, they weren't as afraid of it. Now we got too many soft pillows. No, we have. First of all, I think what some people need to understand is, yes, it's animated. It's an animation, but not all animations are for children.
Absolutely not.
So they're made for. So like Has Been Hotel, Hell of a Boss. No, I guess this one now too. This version of it. Yes, young adults, but probably not your little kid watching it.
Don't let your 10-year-olds watch this one.
Yeah.
But your 15-year-olds, I don't think they're going to have any major issues.
And depending on who your family is.
True.
It just kind of depends on who you're around. But like Has Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss, they're not meant for children.
No,
it's not. It's not meant.
There are no ifs, ands, or buts on that.
Yeah, there's not even a guess. You can possibly think about it in the very first episode.
Well, they literally splash the thing at the front. Mature content. Do not allow small children to watch
this. Yeah, so if you let your kid watch it, that is on you. So don't be going after the creators and trying to get stuff banned and taken off when it's warned in the beginning. It's not meant for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now, as far as with this particular series goes, let me just say that for all of you Batman fans out there, which I am one, Kevin Conroy was a phenomenal voice actor for Batman. There's a reason why he was a consistent go-to for the vast majority of Batman from 1992 onward. And let me just say, Hamish Linklater, who is the voice actor for Batman in this series, it's very clear to me that he absolutely admired Kevin Conroy. He is doing such a great job in trying to emulate the energy that Kevin brought And I think once he gets more comfortable in the role, it's going to absolutely 100% be just spot on, because really, he's got the voice mannerisms right. What he's missing right now, because I don't think he's fully comfortable in the character yet, is the subtle nuances of the character that Kevin Conroy could bring out. The thing about Kevin Conroy is he knew how to bring the depth of the voice with the character and the kind of rough just a little bit. There wasn't too much. Mm-hmm. While still keeping the emotional depth of the character. And so nothing was ever lost when it came to Kevin Conroy's voice work. It was just right every time. He kept the subtle nuances. He knew how to make the Batman feel like a human, believable character, particularly with an episode that I think maybe won an Emmy or an Annie Award or something to that effect, where Hard-Faced Gang, I think Ace was dying, and she knew she was dying. She had immense psychic power that was too much for her. She couldn't control. She was a little kid. I think she was maybe like 12. And the immense psychic power was killing her because it was overloading her brain. And she tried to shut everything and everyone out by building a massive castle with her psychic abilities. And Batman convinced her to let him in. And after he had done all this research and looking into things, he came to her. She looked up at him. She said, "I'm dying, aren't I?" And he said, "Yes, I'm sorry." And it's not in a heartless way. It's a, "I'm very sorry," but it's not also like that fake sympathy sounding thing. It was Batman straightforward, but with so much nuanced care. And that's what made that particular episode special, and that was the power that Kevin Conroy brought to Batman as a character. And Hamish is doing a great job. He's really getting into this character, and I think if he keeps going and keeps looking into it more and keep working with it, he could very well become a very solid successor to the late Kevin Conroy and really bring out the character the way that Kevin did.
That'd be good.
I really think
so hopefully, like I said, hopefully they get a second season. If you haven't watched it, it is on Amazon Prime Video. Give it a shot, and we will see you in the next episode. Do you have anything else to say, though?
I'm just going to say, give it a shot. Know that I will say this. Here's something that I do have to say real quick before we end this. In this particular series, the police force actually makes for more of the more primary focused hero character, while also having several villain characters working throughout in this particular one for the police service. Like, they're working with some of the gangsters and stuff like that, and are working under the table and whatnot. But with Barbara Gordon and her dad and Cortez, I think was her name. I still don't know if that's right. I don't think it is. I could be wrong. I don't remember. They are definitely more the primary main hero. And ironically, Batman, at least thus far in season 1, in this first season of this series, has been making more of an appearance as a secondary and at times even a tertiary character in the series, which is interesting. Usually the focus is on Batman as the primary character, but this time around the police force are more of the primary main character, and Batman is working a little bit more in the background. I'm not sure if that's the best choice, but it's not a bad choice.
Batman, so
yeah.
The point of me watching this is about him and then getting called in with the police. But you've completely just reversed it.
But the police characters are really good. Barbara Gordon is excellent. Her dad, excellent. Like, they've got the characterization right for these characters, and their voice actors are doing a great job. So it works, and because Batman is present enough that it works, it's fine. It just, for me, I think he could actually stand to be in there just a little bit more than what he is so far for season 1. But we'll see what gets brought to us in season. As of this current moment in time, though, this is where we're going to call it. So thanks for watching Anime Chaos, and we'll see you next time.
Later.
Bye.